Corporate scandal of any kind does irreparable damage to that particular business as well as the market it's in. But when the market is involved in unethical practices, the consequences can be much greater, as was the case in the London interbank offered rate LIBOR rigging scandal, where a group of European bank managers began to falsely lower interest rates when they would borrow from each other in order for bank traders as well as the European banks could make a profit. Unfortunately, these lower interest rates were tied to many commercial and consumer loans throughout the world that were using the LIBOR rate to borrow money for mortgages and student loans. This misreporting of rates was for two reasons. The first being for personal gain, secondly, the encouragement of senior managers for corporate gain, both of which corporate governance systems and structures could do very little to avoid. So this simply resulted in a lack of trust and good faith. Further, it is apparent that this LIBOR rigging scandal was rooted deep in the inner workings of the European banks involved. This incident revealed to have bribery as well as cronyism, where management gave instructions from the top down to misreport interest rates. The LIBOR riggings had management in place that did not possess the intestinal fortitude to change the course and institute an ethical value system. This resulted in over 100 traders and brokers being fired and 2 bank executives being forced out. But the investigation revealed that it was not simply managers and traders that were involved in this manipulation, but occurred many times over many years by the European banks. This organization failed at many levels. Once corporate values were leveraged, the banks were on a slippery slope. The integrity for what the organization stood for was violated, and the corporate culture began a steady decline. It was inevitable that the results occurred with management full of duplicity. From a strategic concept perspective, the LIBOR organization was wrought with a lot of self-interest and bad corporate culture, with no strategic vision or applied mission statement. Further, the lack of corporate responsibility affected millions as the market stabilized after the damage caused by Barclays Bank and misrepresented interest rates. Fixing this organization has been a labor-intensive investigation that has required instituting third-party regulatory oversight. Further, repairing trust with these banks will require some overhaul to ensure consumers these banks have shared values and they can be trusted and they have consumers' welfare in mind. This will help begin the repair process between these banks and consumers. The LIBOR rigging stands as a reminder of the benefits of a proper strategic plan and how crucial ethical leadership is. The situations presented in this scandal required a strong moral code and good ethical value system, both of which gave way to greed and corporate wrongdoing. Ultimately, the downfalls of these banks were not a few bad apples, but a negative culture that was developed over time. Thank you.